So we look at question number 1 for our past year 2008-2009. So for this question, how we going to do? So remember our technique is simplify. Simplify, then we see formula, then we see technique, Simfortech. So for this question, actually we can simplify the power of negative here. The e the power of negative here, we can simplify, we rewrite it to be integrate of 1 plus 1 over ex. Okay, so we rewrite back into the position of denominator. Then we'll notice that this question is something over something, something over something. It's a pecahan berperingkat. So we simplify this fraction first. So therefore our technique is simplify, then check for formula, then we go for technique. Okay, so we simplify first. Our notation should be written together. So this is our integration notation. So we should write it together while we are doing simplify. So how we simplify is we'll get same to the denominator, which is ex. Okay, so this denominator will times ex. So the numerator part will be ex plus 1 and dx, and then we simplify some more. When we have 1 divided by something, so 1 divided by something, it can become multiply, then reverse the position of denominator and numerator. Okay, so you can see 1 divided by this fraction. So I will become simplify 1 times the fraction, reverse penyebut pergi ke atas, pengangka turun jadi penyebut. So our question here will be integrate ex over ex plus 1. So this is our question that we simplify. Then we look carefully here. We can use formula. So we check our formula. You can notice that this is our fraction. Our question is in fraction form. So when we have fraction forms, we will let the function at the denominator become fx, which is ex plus 1. We check, differentiate it. When we differentiate it, so differentiate ex, salin balik soalan. Okay, differentiate power dia baru 1. Differentiate nombor, okay, differentiate nombor, kita dapat kosong. So you can see our f prime x is at here. Okay, exactly, this is our fx. So when we integrating f prime x over fx, it can come back to our formula number 6. So which is, so you can see our formula number 6 here, which is when we integrate f prime x over fx, which is give you ln fx. So we can straight away ln, what's your fx? What's your function? What's your function at denominator, which is ex plus 1. Then because this is undefined integration, undefined integration, so we have to plus c. Okay, so we put a modulus here. Why I put a modulus for this function? Because apa yang ln bawa mesti positive. So we don't want this function become negative function. So we put a modulus to indicate that our function here always positive. So this is how we integrate our first questions. So it gives you 7 marks. So how to get these 7 marks? Of course, the first part is going to simplify our questions. Okay, then we going to get same to the denominator. So this is another concept until we get this form. So this is our simplified form of our questions. And then we try to use formula. So when we try to use formula, so indicate your fx clearly, then what is your differentiation function clearly. So this show that this is our formula question. So we get answer of ln, then everything correct, we get one more marks for this. So this will be our question using formula. So for question B, you can see integrate ln. So actually in our formula, we have 7 formula. We don't have any question that integrate ln. We have integrate polynomial, integrate exponential, integrate indices, integrate fraction. So integrate polynomial like this also polynomial. We don't have any formula that involving integrate ln. Okay, so it also not a giant function. You can see our questions here. Ln x. This is ln x. So nothing beside, nothing is function beside the ln x. So bukan lagi giant function. So for this case, when our formula, it cannot apply our second formula here, then we will seek for technique. So we go for technique integration. So before we go for technique integration, we have to see here ln x x. So we can go for simplify first. Simplify formula and technique. So the power we can move to the front. So it will be x times ln x. So we have two functions here. So obviously here is a linear function. Here is a logarithm function. Okay, we use our properties of log. So we move the x, move to the front. So it becomes x ln x. So is it this one? Giant function? So basically, is it giant function? If you differentiate ln, we won't get f prime x here, and we differentiate ln, we won't get 1 over x here. So obviously this is not formula can be solved. So we have to use our technique of integration. So technique of integration, so we can see technique of integration here when we have substitution, integration by part, and partial fraction. So partial fraction is for those questions involving fraction. Then we cannot solve by formula. Then we go for partial fraction. So integration by part is for that the question that most popularly is the missing formula. They're combining different functions together. Substitution, most of the time they were having the same kind of the function. So substitution diguna bila kita nampak function dia lebih kurang sama saja. Maksudnya dia punya function dia sama jenis. So integration by part kita akan bagi function yang berbeza jenis. Macam ini adalah function yang berbeza jenis. Sebab x ni adalah kategori linear, ln x ni adalah kategori logarithm. So two different functions. So in order to solve these questions, we are going integration by part. So for integration by part, the formula will be integration by part. It will be integrate v du will equals to uv minus integrate uv minus integrate v du. Integrate u dv equals to uv minus integrate v du. So from our questions, we have to identify which is the part u and then which is the part dv. So for identify our part u, we have the rules of selecting the function which is logPAC. So our priority will go for logarithm, then only polynomial, then only exponential, then only trigonometry. So for these questions, we have polynomial, linear, and logarithm. So from here, we can select our u to be the function of ln x. So the rest of the part dv will become x dx. Okay, so our questions, we have to select the part u, and then the rest of the part of the question, which is x dx, will become dv. So for u part, you will notice that for u part, we are going to find out what is your du. For dv part, we are going to find out what is your v. Okay, so means that for u part, we have to differentiate. When we differentiate u with respect to x. So kalau differentiate, saling isi perut, differentiate yang di atas. So our du will equal to 1 over x dx. So we achieve our du. So for u part, we achieve our du. So for dv part, we're going to find our v. So how we're going to find our v is we're going to integrate both sides. So when we integrate 1 dv, here we have a coefficient 1. Integrate 1 dv means it is equals to v. When we integrate x, so this is individual x, where power tambah 1, over power baru. So from here, we don't need to plus C yet because we haven't finished our integration. Okay, we just want to find out what is our V, what is our du, so that this question we can solve by using integration by part. So after we get our du and v, then we rewrite our question. This is our questions. Okay, this is our question. Integrate u dv equals to uv. Okay, time your u with the v here, it will give you x squared over 2 ln x. Okay, uv minus integrate v du. So du is 1 over x dx. Okay, so this is our formula, integration by part. What is our u, what is our v, what is our v, and what is our du. So now we're going to integrate this part. So that's why this technique is calling integration by part. So originally we are the integration whole part. So after using the formula of integration by part, you'll notice that part of the answer already found. We only integrate this part. So when we want to integrate, we will going to simplify our integration. So you notice that our x and x squared can be simplified. So here we only 1 over 2 can be factorized. Okay, coefficient can be factorized outside. So now only integrate 1 over 2, then x dx. So for integrate x, power tambah 1 over power baru. Then lastly, then only we plus c. So I rewrite the answer. Because 2 times 2 here we can simplify, become 4. So this is how we solving our integration by part. So we look at the marks here. So look at the marks here. This is 6 marks. So what is important in our integration by part? So of course the first part is how we going to select our u and dv. So this selection will bring you the concept, the first concept. And then find out your answer, find out your du, find out your v, so that we can apply into our formula of integration by part. So then we continue to see here. Okay, so our question just now, the first step we simplify. So that will be our basic simplify. Then start our integration by part formula. Then we put into our formula here. Okay, so this is our concept, put into our formula of integration by part, then start integration for the part here, at the part at the back here, and final answer is this. So actually this is our 7 marks, yeah? Okay, this one do the correction, 7 marks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay.